Time now for your forewarned weather with Thomas Keyboy.
Good morning, Utah. Happy Wednesday. The time is currently 5:46. For the most part, it's a relatively quiet start to the morning, especially compared to what we've seen in recent mornings where it just seems like it didn't want to stop raining and snowing in portions of southern Utah. You're starting to dry out a little bit, even though southern Utah is still checking in with some areas of patchy fog. While in northern Utah, it doesn't look like much on the forewarned radar, but we have seen some light rain in our valleys and some light snow up in the high country. So if you're traveling out there first thing this morning across the northern half of the state, including along the Wasatch Front and in the Wasatch back, just build in some extra time for your drive just in case, as those roads are running a little bit slippery. And here's what it currently looks like. Utah State University in Logan, where those roads, again, are running just that little bit wet. So not only are we seeing those wet conditions along the Wasatch Front, but even as far north as Cache Valley, we've picked up a little bit of light rain out there first thing this morning, and that's because even in Logan, that temperature is just a little bit above freezing. Here's the current view from Red Cliffs Lodge in Moab. This is a really pretty view. You got a beautifully textured sky as our temperature right now is sitting at 34 degrees. Mostly cloudy, otherwise a calm start to the morning across the southeastern portion of the state with just a few showers, it looks like, kind of in the high country in southeastern Utah. As we look at your out-the-door forecast along the Wasatch Front, we have that slight chance mainly this morning, and then by this afternoon we'll check in with either partly to mostly cloudy skies as temperatures climb from the 30s eventually into the low and mid 40s for a daytime high. I think that will be right around 44 degrees in Salt Lake between noon and 5 o'clock, while Logan this afternoon will see a daytime high of 37, 41 degrees down in Provo, 51 degrees in Moab. And St. George today, likely going to be the warm spot in the middle 50s this afternoon. And once we get into this afternoon, we'll be looking at a fairly low chance of wet weather really across the state, maybe 10% chance at the most. Daytime highs up north, mainly going to be in the 30s and 40s, while we'll see mid to upper 30s in the Wasatch back. In central Utah, we'll see 30s and 40s as well, with maybe a chance that Castledale and Green River reach the low 50s. Then down in southern Utah, it's a mix of 30s, 40s, and a few 50s on the map. 51 for Hanksville, 52 for Lake Powell, while Bryce Canyon will see a daytime high of 39. And we'll get to 43 degrees this afternoon in Beaver. Let's go ahead and begin the Futurecast at 8 o'clock this morning, and the Futurecast showing just a slight chance for a few light showers, mainly in northern Utah, from now through around midday, with maybe a slight chance in the eastern portion of the state during this afternoon. Otherwise, looking at relatively quiet conditions up and down the Beehive State. Any quiet conditions, though, are going to be short-lived because as we go from tonight into tomorrow morning, our next storm system moves in, and even by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we could be looking at some slippery conditions across the central and northern half of the state with what could start off as valley rain and mountain snow. However, with slightly cooler temperatures finding their way in, there is a chance that by tomorrow, we're talking about some snow in our valleys where some minor accumulations can't be ruled out. That chance of wet weather is going to continue in the northern half of the state as we go through tomorrow, mainly scattered showers by tomorrow afternoon as that moisture eventually finds its way down south, with St. George picking up likely more rain. And then by 7 o'clock in the evening, as those slightly cooler temperatures filter in, again, there is going to be that chance of valley rain and snow as the mountain snow likely continues in central and northern Utah before things calm down ultimately once we get into Friday afternoon, with maybe a few lingering showers being a possibility first thing on our Friday morning. Here's a look at the snow potential more or less through tomorrow, where you can see our mountain ranges could pick up several inches, plus maybe a few spots picking up over half a foot of snow. Not going to be the most impressive system, but of course we'll take any snow that we can get. And the snow potential is showing that some of our northern Utah valleys have at least a chance of maybe picking up a couple of inches of snow. And we're going to fine-tune those totals as we go through the day today. And for the central and southern mountains, there's actually a winter weather advisory that will begin at 11 o'clock tonight and will continue through 11 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, as most mountains could pick up between 4 to 8, with 8 to 12 possible for some isolated locations like the Tushar Mountains. For St. George, we'll be looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies for today. Then we bring in a chance of scattered rain showers on Thursday. Temperatures will come down a little bit, and you'll notice it mainly in the overnight lows in St. George, as we'll drop close to freezing both Thursday and Friday night. Then with high pressure setting up shop over the weekend, daytime highs climbing into the upper 50s to around 60 degrees and should be in the low 60s through early next week. Then along the Wasatch Front, that slight chance is mainly this morning, and then tomorrow we bring in the chance of scattered rain and snow with a daytime high in the low 40s. Lingering chance early on Friday, and then this weekend with high pressure, mainly partly cloudy skies as our daytime highs eventually return to the mid and upper 40s by early next week.